So how do you make your videos look more professional? How do you take an ugly, boring shot like this and turn it into something that looks like this? Well, in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how. It's coming up. Hey everyone, Steve here from Learn Online Video, and today we're talking all about how to light your videos. Lighting is so important and can often be the difference between an amateur looking shot and a professional one. So in this video, I'm going to be showing you some quick and easy ways that you can make your footage look more professional using just one light, as well as some more advanced and creative techniques using 3-point lighting and color. Now, it doesn't matter what camera you're shooting on, a smartphone, a DSLR, or a mirrorless, as long as your camera has the ability to shoot in manual mode, all of these tips will apply. A big thanks to Nanlite for sponsoring this video. Been using their lights for a while now, both here in the studio as well as out on location. I'm a huge fan of their tube lights. These things are great. They change to just about any color you like. I use them to help light the background of my videos. I've put them inside a DeLorean time machine, and I'll be using them later in this video to help stylize the look of this footage. Okay, let's start nice and simple using just one light. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to close all the curtains, the blinds, and we're going to switch off all of the lights. Blank canvas and work our way up, starting with the most important light of them all, the key light. Now, the key light is your main light source, and it's what's used to light your subject. I'm going to be using the Forza 300B for this. I'm going to place it at a 45-degree angle. Now, it's really important that you diffuse this light, and the best way to do this is by using a softbox like this one here. Softboxes come in all different sizes, but the bigger your light source, the softer the light. So I'm going to use the biggest one I've got. This is going to help complement your subject. Here's a shot with no softbox or diffusion, really harsh, ugly looking light. And here is a shot using the same light, only this time with a softbox and diffusion. Also, if you want to direct your light more, then these honeycomb grids are really useful. They help create a more focused spotlight effect onto your subject and help prevent light spilling onto your background. Now, although this shot is a big improvement from where we started, there are still plenty of ways we can improve the look of this image. For a start, there's not much separation between myself and the background. There's a lot of digital noise and grain in this image. Plus, the colors look a little bit off. I'm looking a little bit orange. And this simply comes down to my incorrect camera settings. So let's fix this. First things first, make sure you are shooting in manual mode. You want your white balance to match the color temperature of your key light. So in this case, I've set the color temperature of my key light to 5600 Kelvin, or daylight balanced. So I'm going to do the same with my camera. Now, not all lights will allow you to change the color temperature or the brightness, by the way. This is the main difference between a budget light and a professional one. Now, don't get me wrong, a budget light is better than no light, but if you're going to invest in any light, make it your key light. Now, whilst we're changing our camera settings, let's do a couple more things to improve the look of this image. Right now, there isn't much depth to this shot, and the reason for this is because I've got my lens set to an aperture of f/14, which is a very narrow depth of field, meaning everything is in focus. So I'm going to lower my aperture to f2.8. That's as low as this lens will go. Now, this is going to let in more light, so I'm going to need to compensate for this by lowering my ISO. We now have an ISO of 100 and an aperture of 2.8. This has helped remove some of that digital grain and noise in the image. It's also helped blur out the background for a much more professional look. Okay, so we've got our key light at a 45-degree angle. It's soft, it's diffused. We've got our camera settings dialed in, and this is the result. Before and after. A huge improvement using just one light. But how can we improve on this? Let's talk 3-point lighting. 3-point lighting is a technique that involves the use of 3 light sources in 3 distinct positions. We've got a key light. This is lighting our subject from a 45-degree angle. We've got a fill light. This is used to help fill in some of the shadows created by our key light. And we have a backlight or hair light. This is placed roughly opposite our key light and is used to help separate our subject from the background. So let's take a look at our fill light, because the aim of the game here is to fill in some of these shadows using light. Now, a quick, cheap and easy way to fill in some of these shadows is by simply just bouncing your key light back onto your subject. And you can do this with either a bit of white card, a reflector like this one here. You can pick these up pretty cheap online. And this is a great hack if you only have one light, because it gives the illusion that you're using two. Now, because I've got more than one light, I'm going to use it. So I'm going to ditch the reflector and instead I'm going to use the Forza 60 with softbox. Remember, this light is going to be hitting our subject's face, so we don't want anything too harsh. As a general rule, your fill light should be dimmer than your key light. So we now have a shot which is a bit more evenly lit. We still want to keep some shadows on the face. Shadows are good. Shadows help create more depth and make your image look more three-dimensional. Let's now move on to our backlight or hair light. Now this should be placed higher up and opposite your key light behind your subject. The idea with this light is to help create a bit more separation between your subject and the background by casting light onto the back of their head and shoulders. I'm going to be using the Nanlite FS200 for this, no softbox this time. Also, a little hack here, you'll see that I have this light attached to the wall using a wall mount. This is a great tip for those of you filming in small spaces. C-stands like this are great because they're strong and they're sturdy, but they eat up a lot of floor space and can really get in the way. So if you can, try mounting your lights to help free up as much filming space as possible. So this is your typical 3-point lighting setup. We've got our key light, our fill light, and our backlight. Just look at the difference in these two shots. So much better, so much more professional looking. But how can we improve on this? Well, we can introduce some practical lights. Practical lights are any lights that you can see within the frame of your shot, because up until now, all of the lights that we've used have been outside of our frame. And essentially we've used these lights to light our subject. Now let's use practical lights to light the background. But what are some examples of practical lights? Well, I've got a computer in the background here, so the first thing I'm going to do is switch this on, and this instantly makes this shot look more interesting. You could use a lamp as a practical light. This is a great cheap way to add more interest to your shots, or one of my favorite ways is to use a pavo tube like this one here. The beauty of a light like this is that you can change it to just about any color or brightness you like. I'm going to go with a teal color and place the light on my desk just underneath my monitor. Background color. Okay, let's add more color to this shot and really make it pop. For this, I'm going to use contrasting colors. We've got a teal on the desk, so what color would best contrast this? Let's take a look at the color wheel and find out. Orange. So I'm going to grab myself another pavo tube, this time orange, and place it on the opposite side of frame to help light these shelves. Okay, now we're getting there. This shot is looking much better, much more colorful, but we can still improve on this. The shot still looks a little uneven, and there's definite space that we can fill with color. I'm going to add another pavo tube, this time blue, and put this one on the floor pointing towards the back corner, and put another one underneath the desk pointing up again in blue. And this is it. This is the final result. How much better does this look? So we're here and we've come from here. I mean, look at how awful this lighting is. I mean, this is just unacceptable. I do not like this one little bit. Let's jump back to here. Yes, much better. And of course, we could change these colors to anything we like. We could mix it up and try different contrasting colors, or we could just keep things simple and a bit more natural, clean and minimal. The choice is yours. So look, I'm going to link all the lights and any other gear that I've used in this video in the description below. And hopefully this video has shown you just how important and what a difference lighting can make to your videos. If you found it useful, do let me know, give it the old thumbs up. And if you'd like to see more content like this, learn more about video production, you can do that by watching one of my other videos just over there. But that's it from me. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.